HellSinker. It's a shoot 'em up game that's, in my opinion, the best out of the whole genre, and it's going to change your entire view on the genre. So I have been hosting a show called the CG Weekly where we just analyzed games like once a week of this genre, and this one might as well be the most complex looking to the observers, and where the major element of fun actually consists of figuring out how to play it properly. So I'm here to do first two stages of a bit different route to explain to you how the game works, and then we can start the timer after these. So just wanted to take a bit of time on this. So the game would be actually properly explained. It's a bit hectic. Okay, yeah, I see the game on the stream, fine. So anyway, let's introduce my co-casters here that are going to be talking way more than me in the upcoming run.
You go first.
Okay. Hello, my name is twilightex, and I am the current world record holder for this game. And I also play the game. I also play the character that the XE is gonna be using, called Deadlier. I'm Japanese, but I can speak English really well. I don't know, but okay, that's it about me.
Hello, so I'm Legless. I'm just a Canadian guy who kind of got into the shoot 'em up genre a year ago or so, STG, that kind of thing. I'm not super great at this game. I have like a pretty okay clear with the easiest character, but I know a lot about the game, and I've been interacting with the little community quite a bit. So yeah, I'll hand it off to our next guy.
So then, good evening, I'm Galactorite, I'm a German player, and I'm also the top Western player in this category. So
yeah, so I mean, HellSinker is a really interesting game. Like, as you can see, it has some really trippy visuals. It was made by just one Japanese guy back in like 2006, over a course of like 4 years. So it's not a new game. It's actually quite old, and it was just sold at Comiket, as a CD.
Mm-hmm.
But recently, it was reintroduced to Steam and a Japanese site called Booth. So that's where we mostly get our ability to play the game now.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
Okay, so first off, I'm going to start. Like, you don't have to start the timer just yet. This is just going to be a short run through the first two behind stages, which are supposed to be easier. Those are the
Actually, I
stages
think
that are part of the game.
I think we might not have time for both of them. I think we just do segment.
Okay,
one.
yeah, let's just do one. So the basic attack, you have shots, and then when you don't fire anything, you have a thing called suppression radius, which affects different bullets differently. Like, some of them can be destroyed, some of them just get slowed down and can trap you, so you have to be like pretty careful with using it or not using it. So you normally avoid using it by just firing all the time. So pretty good music in this game. So you also have Discharge, which uses your soul meter. It's you can use it at starting from 3, and it caps out at 5. So at level 5, you can unleash a pretty big bomb that covers the entire screen and allows you to be invulnerable and protected from attacks. So Deadlier is normally kind of a glass cannon character that has really good damage, but does not have a lot of tools to defend himself. So that's why I'm going to start with 7 lives in this run. So yeah, the 7 lives maximum. Like, in the score run, it only costs me like 4,000 spirit at most. So not really a big number in larger scheme of things. So you have a sub weapon. Every character has a sub weapon to them. So it's a weapon that uses a meter called sub-weapon, and so in that case it will be Tabarimaru, my cyber fairy familiar, and she can be either thrown in the 8 directions by using the arrow keys to do it, and can be charged to another level. So the level 2 will be yellow level, and the first level would be just the blue level. So sometimes the weaker attacks are going to be better for score. And so you can also use the charged sword attack and the main shot. So the skill in this game relies on using your moveset efficiently, and also narrow piercing. We can explain a bit about that a bit later. So
Yeah, there were quite a few terms that were thrown around here, like spirit and the lives thing. We'll get to that later. Like those are all things that we're definitely going to explain somewhere down the point. Like for the first few stages, we'll probably try to explain a bunch of the mechanics of this game in a way
Yeah.
that's digestible.
There are 3 buttons besides the arrow keys. The shot is a weapon and the bomb. There's also the slow movement button, but it's also just for some type dodging. And so, yeah, here is a good time to explain about the main spirit raising mechanic. So I'm just going to be using the main shot for this. So you see the green numbers on top of every part of the enemy. So for ideal scoring, and this run is going to be scoring the spirit. There are also token and kill metrics, but they're only mainly for getting the extra lives here, in one way or the other, for this category. So my task is to try and get at least like 50,000 spirit. That would be the 5th Dead Liar score in the world. And so I will be trying to hit the enemies with weak attacks repetitively, and also, yeah, I died. So when you get these relics, you gain Stella, which is sort of like style meter in DMC. Like the game gets a bit more difficult, but it doesn't really matter, and your score gain from every source gets higher, and so you can see the green numbers rise higher. If I'm hitting several targets at once, and I'm trying to hit enemies with the side parts of my main shots, so in order to get good score, I have to be very aggressive, play near the enemies, and so I get all of the score from that enemy by destroying that part. And so you get that number for like flying out to the enemy.
All stuff that we'll probably go into a little more detail in due time.
Okay, yeah, so I just want to finish this boss off, and now, okay, yeah, so there's also the function that allows me to fix Tabari in a certain point just relative to my own movement. It's convenient because she can also grab items just like me, and that's going to be very useful for just obtaining all the sorts of the items on the screen, including those that get you more lives, more spirit, and the others. Oh yeah, by the way, if you don't finish out the boss in time, you will get punished by half of your score for the stage, which is the bottom counter, reduced. And so now for this stage, because I took it slow, it's like
The
half
boss
of it.
was-
Anyway, so yeah, I'm quitting this run. Break. So yeah, now we can start the actual game. So yeah, not feeling very confident when playing with such small windows, so I'm thinking with 7 maximum lives. Alright, timer ready?
Yeah.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, this is HellSinker, so the lead stage already starts really hard, like I would say the first stage is actually really freaking difficult, just the whole first half of the game. You have to place the bar beneath me in order to collect the Luna Drops, which are items that are going to increase my Stella. So, Stella increase is the most important thing in the Spirit scoring, because every moment that I get score by like destroying the enemy parts, like here, it scales off Stella, so I have to keep it on A at all times in order to receive maximum of it.
Yeah,
so
Stella-
I try to collect a bit of it.
Stella makes the game harder, but not by much, I would say. It's really
Yeah.
slight, but you want to keep it high at all times, and you lose it when you die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just I don't want my familiar to be like up there all the time. Sometimes it might be not very efficient for the score, and anyway, yeah, the grazing mechanics. So only those bullets can be grazed by moving close to them, and so those needle type of bullets, you can get pretty good amount of points by staying close to them, hitting them with your suppression radius especially. Like that's mechanic that's like common to a lot of games. Oh, freak.
Yeah, we can take over the commentary a little more if you'd like to focus more on the game.
Yeah, true.
This run is, yeah.
This game is hard.
Can I for the
Yeah.
reset?
Just scoring the stage is annoying, so it's reset hell.
Yeah, this stage has a lot of like really RNG stuff, I would say.
Whatever. Anyway, yeah, Stella 2, that's okay. Can I do the... Nah, I'm resetting. You won't make me. Yeah. I'll still be like fine with the estimate. So just have to get used to the new layout.
Here, actually, we can do most of the commentary. Like seriously, I think you should probably like focus on the game. We have a lot of
Yeah,
things we can
yeah.
explain. Don't worry about
Yep.
it.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
So the first thing you might notice is like he when he was explaining this to the mechanics of the game and stuff like that, he was playing a different stage than this. But both of them are technically stage 1, which is really weird, right? But this game has a weird thing called the behind and the lead system. So the first time you play the game, you play the behind stage, which is what he just played in the like tutorial section, right? And then once you reach stage 4 for the first time, you unlock the lead stages, which are like harder.
Gives more score, basically.
Yeah, for. Wish I could actually beat the game.
Don't worry about it.
Resolution this slow.
So he talked about the grazing these needle bullets. This is actually pretty hard, even from my perspective as a record holder. This is
Whatever, I'll take it.
very, very hard, to be honest.
That's what induces the most
Okay.
resets, probably.
Yeah, this is the most reset-prone problem, to be honest, in this entire game.
What the? Yeah, I can't see shit. Sorry. So,
And
anyway, yeah, you should mention about like hitting indestructible objects.
yeah, so just hitting stuff will increase your score, but the more things you're hitting at one time, the more you increase score by many different factors. First of all, it greatly increases the amount of green number you get. Oh, and unfortunately not getting
Shouldn't be
grazed
trying
there.
scoring anymore.
This game is one of the more forgiving ones when it comes to survival, though. As you can see, like you can get extra lives quite easily. Many enemies drop life pieces in this game. If you see on life max 7, that's a setting you can do. You can have up to 7 maximum lives, lowest 5, for a reason that involves scoring. But you can see the necessary under it. That's the number of life pieces that he needs to get another extra life. But a lot of enemies drop life pieces in this game.
Despite how complicated it looks, the game is not that difficult if you're just going for a basic survival clear. It's a lot of fun, just learning the character, learning their moves.
Oh yeah, you don't have collision damage in this game, but you can get pushed into the bullets, which I just demonstrated, so...
Yep.
Yeah, there is a big value in playing aggressive, because if you get close enough to the enemies, you can seal them, which means that they will just stop shooting bullets. But that doesn't mean that they won't stop bumping you around.
Yep.
So now we
So-
have the first boss, who is also just annoying.
Squid arms guy. Yeah, that's
just-
Rex Cavalier.
You sort of just sit at the top of the boss at some for most of the fight, once you've destroyed the arms.
Yeah, I need to just get rid of this.
If you get close enough to that arm, it'll stop shooting these flames, but it's really annoying when you can't.
Can I get the ingots? Okay. Just want to
There
get
we
a
go.
Okay, nice. Here we go. Now I can finally do the score gaining.
So he's gonna stay up on top of the boss for a while to increase the number of points he's getting from it.
What the?
Oh no.
Oh, unfortunate.
It's pretty unfortunate.
Luckily, in the first few stages, if you... Oh. Yeah, probably just try again.
I tried to do scoring, now I won't.
Just try your best,
Oh.
man. Don't worry about it.
Uh,
Of course, if this doesn't go well, we can always sub in Twilight or something.
but we have no time for this.
Stage select.
That would be really stupid. Anyway.
Yeah, too bad this game doesn't have a feature.
I'm going to prove that this game is actually really easy to clear.
Well, if you wanted to do
it
that,
will
just
not
do a
win me
Minigami.
any place in the leaderboard.
Stage
Well,
1 is like the most
Waddles.
retry heavy, in my opinion. Other stages
Yeah, the first
actually
stage,
is not.
the first lead stage is really hard. You don't even unlock it immediately.
Yep. I think it's the most retry prone stages. The other stages are actually not that difficult, in my opinion.
They're simpler to understand in general, I would say.
Yeah.
It's just different scoring trick after scoring trick with like no break at all.
Yeah. Many things you
sometimes-
have to do at once to be exact.
To what was spent? Okay, I have to actually get the hell out of dodge. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, this coffin contains like the extra lives. Normally, those are invulnerable, and if you hit a lot of them, you get pretty good points. Like even if you don't kill a target, by hitting those entities that give you the gray flash, like yeah, the aqua one. I don't want to do this grace anymore. I should.
Yeah. Well, luckily this game also has a system that's somewhat forgiving, which is the solid state system. It's an option where you have essentially what we like to call auto bombs in the STG community, which is just basically when you get hit, it nullifies the hit. And in this game, essentially what you need is if your soul, which is your power, the bar on the left side, if that's above 3, it's you have the auto bomb available, and if you get hit, it'll activate the auto bomb, and it'll reduce your soul back to 1, so it'll reduce your power drastically. The other bar, Luna, right under the soul, is it only affects your main shot. It just affects how fast your main shot shoots, but it has a really, really big effect on how much like damage it does, and it also it just decreases really fast when you're shooting and regens when you're not shooting. So you can't just like mash main shot like you do in a lot of other bullet hell games. You have to actually control it and use your other tools in order to, beat the bosses and the enemies in this game.
Yeah. Like as Exy said during the practice stages, using your weapons efficiently is really the key in this game. You just can't keep on mashing the normal shot like any other shooting games.
Still do the trick, okay?
Speaking of mashing, when you see his shot turn red and it says narrow piercing, that's what happens when you like mash your main shot really, really quickly as Dead Liar.
Oh yeah, it's not still A. Yeah, like I don't actually remember the pattern for this.
Yeah, those bullets travel slower if you're not.
Yeah, I don't care.
So you probably
I don't
shouldn't
care
get
anymore,
more.
honestly.
just get through this. Just get through this, honestly.
Oh, impossible game.
Yeah. But
Collecting the life tokens from these guys. Okay. Nah, not happening. Anyway. Just
probably
wanna kill
just
this
just
time,
kill the
because,
guy.
Otherwise, I'll get like really, really little points from this. Whoa.
Yep.
I can't see shit. I need to inch myself closer to the screen.
Yeah, it's difficult. But as you can see, he's also using the stress suppression field to try to make the bullets really slow and also sometimes despawn.
Like you can't just replace me with Twilight because like have to do the freaking setup for this.
It's fine.
Okay, just trying to destroy as many of those types of bullets as possible. Like those bullets give you a score if they're destroyed without the bomb.
Are their own scoring mechanic.
It's not really that significant, but it is something.
It's important for the bosses that use it.
Yeah.
Maybe around 40.
And pull the Throne
yeah.
Bar behind me, so to give a bit more damage to the boss. Okay, anyway, yeah.
Okay.
So there's the first stage. Finally gotten through.
Yeah, just I blame because like the RTMP server causes me to play the game in a really small window to actually make the game work at all. So anyway, I think I can do the web grace by by intuition though. So like pretty much blind. So
here we are in the second.
I wanna try for it, and that's going to be the last really hard scoring trick that I'm going to do. Anyway, yeah, and those bullets are also like referred to as nutcrack, as by the Steam version it refers to them like this. Anyway, yeah, the unchain mechanic. You see, some of the enemies they're called masters. So by destroying them, you also destroy the enemies that are attached to them, and you collect more spirits if more slaves are on screen at the same time. So have to be a bit precise if you're shooting, like not always have to be like trigger happy. This game really values you being precise, especially with a character like Dead Liar, whose attack pattern is pretty narrow. So I'm trying to dismantle these guys. They give pretty good amounts of spirit, but the actual reason for taking them apart slowly will come up in a bit later, where there's a bonus enemy that's going to be giving me pretty good spirit. Being a bit slow, like they're actually like, yeah, these enemies, yeah, I don't actually get the full spawn. That's unfortunate. I'm really slow.
Yeah, because you need to kill those enemies fast as well. Because if you don't, you will
anyway,
get
the Kanai Stone should be now. Yes, here we go.
Yeah, these guys get better.
Right? Like a lot of the aimed attacks, you can just strafe them in the genre. So okay, yeah. So use the Kabari level to throw a bit beneath me to get a good score at the invulnerable entity parts. Anyway, yeah, the grace parts. What? I killed it.
Yeah, it's a difficult one.
Right?
That one gives a lot of score though. It can give like upwards of almost 1,000 for a grace.
But yeah, if you stay inside of it like somehow, then you get pretty good points. Anyway, yeah.
Around 1,000 spirits, around there maybe.
So here's Scarlet Queen.
Having a forward throw. Dang it. If I played my main character Minogami, I would probably not do much better, honestly, with this resolution.
You should have played Neo anyways, because you could just survive by spamming the circle attack.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so the story.
Yeah, like I don't even need to see the game.
Dismantle the enemies. So you dismantle the 2 legs that are shooting the laser, and then the five things on the side and the wings.
Yeah, I appreciate these like big mecha style bosses.
Yeah.
Connor played it.
I'm gonna take it a bit slow. I still want to get the grace phase, so I want to prevent the collateral damage. Like dismantling has to be in those types of games in a really specific order. Okay, here we go.
I still think that like you can definitely kill some of the side wings if it's necessary.
Okay, here we go. The grace phase.
It doesn't really have to be symmetrical. It just has to be those both legs gone, basically.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah, you still get those graze lasers, needles and stuff. It's just that you'll get less of them if you destroy the wings.
Yep.
So he's getting a lot of points from doing that. You only get you get a lot more points from the grazing if you have your suppression aura active, that's why he's not shooting right now, because he doesn't get a lot of points.
Shoots. Okay, yeah.
If he shoots.
So it's alright. I have to get a throne for the extra lives. Like the throne is the thing on the top of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Hurry, grab it. Nice. Good girl. Yeah, and the core actually has a like really little HP, so that's good.
Around 13% right now.
Let's see if your Stella is high enough to get the secret on this stage.
Unlikely. What the? Nice cancel, bro. Oh wow, yes, we got it.
Okay.
Alright, so this is
20 seconds. Just
we get a
survive, basically.
Yeah, it's a berserk phase of the boss. Although you will get a revive token, which is an extra life if you manage to kill it within the time.
Yeah.
Did not even get that. I was too psyched.
No revive token. Feels bad.
Anyway, there's a comeback mechanic that's going to be really helpful for survival. Yeah. My favorite stage in the game. So, wow, my Stella is almost over.
So this is 3 lead, which is pretty much just like a score attack auto scroller stage. I mean, every stage is technically an auto scroller, but this one is just like a really hectic. All you do is score stage.
Want to seal the wing to the sides by staying close to them. They will not fire at me if I'm in the blind zone, so to speak. So continuously moving on those to keep the seal indicators on top of them. Yeah, do not need to miss those birds. Like those, you actually, even though they have masters, you do not want to really target the master, because that gives you less score than just destroying them one by one. They give you 10 spirit per each when you destroy them separately, and that's what happens when you don't seal it. Yeah, like the wings just fire on top of you. Oof.
By the way, Terra's gone.
Oh yeah, I understand, but okay, need to stay on this side and then so I can set up for the next enemy to spawn. So right, I actually moved into the wrong other direction. So here I need to be actually a little bit fast because the new waves of seagulls are appearing soon. So really big stage have to be.
The stage is hectic because you've got to balance everything. It's like the big ships and then the enemy waves on the
Yeah, this stage is really good. It's
a result of the design of the stage being super big. Because with most shmup games, you only have the playing field being one screen wide, right? But here you have so much. There's so many enemies everywhere. What are you gonna do to prioritize your kills and your scoring, right?
Very good design.
I just launched the game and played this stage over and over. It just calmed me down.
Oh.
Like you might see that I screwed up at the earlier credit of the game, but this stage I'm still executing pretty well.
The RTMP is lagging a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. Need to actually put Tabari to the left so she would just block the homing missiles from destroying this carrier. I'm freaking 45 points from this. Anyway, narrow piercing. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I lived through this. Probably not getting the full points out of it. Need to be faster with
much
DPS.
right now.
Just trying to get as many points as possible. Okay, nice. So.
Still choppy.
Is your internet okay, dude?
Nah, the stream's kind of lagging as well.
Okay, getting 49 points from this. Stream's lagging. I can reduce the bitrate if you think it's helpful.
If it's gonna stop the latent, or it's gonna stop the. I can't really see what's going on.
Okay,
I know what you're doing when you're talking about
Whoa.
it.
Okay, yeah. So it's like actually pretty crappy. So wait, where is the encoding? Yeah, I'll give it 2000. I don't know why my internet is so shitty though. Like I'm really like. I think it's not on me. It's on the server. Because I haven't 0 dropped frames. Like, I don't think that's the connection either. Ideally, I would want to wait it out, because, like...
I don't think we can. That's the problem. I think we might need...
Yeah, if you haven't dropped frames in OBS, then just go ahead and play. It's probably the RTMP server.
Well, how is it doing on the main
okay,
screen?
the run isn't that great anyway.
Yeah, but we still want to show off this game, man.
Like it's clearly not me because I'm having good internet on my mobile devices and such. But anyway, I hope that you saw at least most of this stage. Like it's one of the most beautiful ones in the game. So yeah, let's continue. Let's press on. Yeah, we got Shrine.
Oh yeah, he activated Shrine early because the he ran out of Terra early. So there's a meter.
Yeah,
there was
only you want to get that stage super late because it in perfect play it can double your current score.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just try to break this down. Okay. Like, here's the thing. Okay, we want to explain something for lay audiences who don't know anything about the game. If we just say, "Oh, this is Shrine," they're not gonna get the message across. We need to say, there was a meter that you might have seen at the first few stages. That's called Terra. It goes down when you make mistakes, when you get hit or you die or whatever. And once it also goes down every time you finish a stage. And then as soon as the meter is depleted, then after the next stage, after the current stage is over, you get a special boss rush stage called the Shrine of Farewell, which can happen anywhere between stage 1 and stage 7. Although I don't know if it's physically possible to get it in stage 1. And then basically they take away all of your spirit score. They take away all of your score and then give you infinite lives for these bosses. But depending on how good you do on the bosses, you'll get a different number of crystals back. Which each contain a 200th of your spirit and a life piece. So if you play well on it, you can really, really increase your score. And we want to get it later in the run because it can more than double your score. And you want to double as much score as possible, right?
Yep.
So that's how it works.
So So basically, you would want to get it after stage 7 because you would get all the scores for the pre-stages before the shrine that you would get, and basically that would be around like if you would do good, that would be around 30k to 40k, and you double that. So basically, you would get around 80k to 90k if you do very good at it. But since we're getting this on the stage 3, and we currently have around 3,000 or 4,000k, so we would get around 8,000 to 10,000 spirits after this stage if XE
The lives are more
offer.
important anyway.
Hey, Extruder, can you pause the game? I'll pause the timer as well. We'll try to get this RTMP fixed and then come back. Is that an option?
Seems to be.
Yeah, I'm pausing, of course. Yeah,
Okay.
fortunately, this game does allow you for pausing.
Okay, let's go ahead and pause, take a little break, try to get the
Sure.
RTMP back so the game runs smoother.
Time to replace my run for a better run.
We'll be right back. Give us 1 sec. All right, so
All right, welcome back. Sorry for those technical difficulties, but we are back, and luckily we had a backup runner who was able to, well, one of the commentators who was a backup runner who was able to complete our thing. So what he's going to do is he's going to not play the entire game, and instead play short mission, which is essentially the main game has 8 stages plus the Shrine of Farewell, and the short mission enables him to pick 5 stages out of those 8 stages. So we won't be seeing the entire game this time again, but I think it'll be enough to do an impressive show and make up for the difficulties we had a little earlier. So yeah, anything else you two would like to say?
Well, yeah, like twilightex, he literally plays the game 3 times better than me, so...
Yeah, he is the world
Because
record
he's
holder.
something. Just as long as the stream is going to be alive, it's gonna be really spectacular.
All right, I think we should be good to go then.
Yep. Just, yeah, cannot really... Oh, okay, yeah, so the stream is on MGSR4, yeah, that's fine.
So Twilight...
Yeah, we changed places, so now I'm the commentary, and yeah, the first stage in the short mission is going to be the stage 2, like, it's a bit easier than stage 1, and, like, he's going to be pulling off that, like, cool trick that I didn't manage to do earlier. Due to killing the enemies too early, but it looks really good.
Yep. Definitely a big scoring stage. Out of the first 2 stages, definitely, like, this one's also more enjoyable and more consistent. So yeah. I can actually hear on the RTMP server. I can actually hear his inputs. I can hear his him, like, you know, pressing his arcade stick and
that's because he didn't separate the audio, unfortunate, but
that's fine.
Well, yeah, just, you know, the stick clicks are very important for experiencing the genre. Actually, not getting the full points from that's because, yeah, he's starting, like, in short mission, you still start from Stella 1, so he does not get the 22 score out of those chains. Yeah, bonus enemies, kill them. Use the tether to collect a bunch of points. Like, you see the small blue numbers coming out of the enemies, those are the spirit score that you get upon defeating an enemy, and that's our main goal for today.
Yeah, look at, like, a lot of these strats are very precise, like camping on those missiles.
Hard to explain in a short time.
Exactly. Although the most flashy part of this stage by far will be the grazes that we'll see a little bit later.
The super graze.
Oh yeah. The one that Exy was going for earlier.
Here he's just dismantling all the enemies, staying close to increase their value, and then kill them.
Mm-hmm. So you can see he's clearly using a wide array of weapons. He's using basically all 4 of his weapons. He's gonna do damage to those those
solid
live ammos. Yeah, the solid ammos that are invulnerable, like Exy was doing last run as well. Here's the super grace. He's gonna set it up, get this guy to very low HP so he can slash it, and then go in between all of those lasers to get a massive amount of score. 900 spirit just from that graze alone.
And now it's the second time.
Yep. And getting it again. There we go, 2 for 2. Also gets a lot of life pieces from the children or slave enemies that were destroyed with the enemy there. So he's going to set up a quick kill on the Scarlet Queen here. He's going to set up a quick way to kill both of the legs so he can enter the graze section earlier. He makes a lot of use of the sword weapon of Deadlier, which happens when you hold the main shot down for a period of time. He will start to charge a blade swing that does damage, slightly ahead of him. But you can't be too far and you can't be too close, or else it won't do the full damage. It's a mid-range weapon.
You can see the yellow reticle on the enemy as well.
Yeah, the amount of score you get from the grazing, it depends on how close you are to the bullets. So he's pretty much placing himself a pixel away from being hit.
Yeah, it's really, really impressive. He knows the game inside and out.
He's been playing it for like 2 years now.
Yeah.
Those world record last year and has still been optimizing it on his own.
Yeah, he's pretty much like alone at the top too. It's pretty funny. There are other people who play other characters. Twilight plays exclusively Deadlier pretty much, but
No.
so now you can see the effect of hitting a lot of parts at once or a lot of enemies at once. As you can see, like a lot of the different parts of the Scarlet Queen are lit up at once, and that really increases his spirit numbers, especially those blue numbers on the parts, which he can cash in later.
Yeah, the blue numbers are actually the difference between the Dojin version and the Steam version. So those are still the spirit that you get upon destroying the enemy.
Yeah, it's just that on the it's a setting. You can set you can make it a setting on the Steam version to make them bigger. It's a really good quality of life improvement.
Like, what's good about this game is that you don't need to do like a third of this to beat the game.
Yeah, but you know, this guy just plays it. He just does it.
Okay, yeah. Now I could explain the narrow Pearson. It's when you mash the button sufficiently fast, like the community uses the autofire script for it, you unleash the red stream of bullets instead that will pierce through every enemy on the screen upwards and will deal pretty good damage, but will expend your Luna meter, which is your firepower. And so, in order to be able to sustain this attack, you have to pick up more Luna tokens. So the blue items, like this. Secret form, it will actually drop a crap ton of Luna crystals. So by using the your fairy to pick them up, that suicide was intentional, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're able to get Luna tokens all the time and just maintain good levels of damage at her.
Yep. So he oh, he's gonna go. Oh no, never mind. So anyways, yeah, so he said he says, so someone in chat, M Knight, very good SCG community member, said breakthrough already. Would one of you want to explain what breakthrough is, or can I do it?
Yeah, you do it.
Go ahead.
So essentially what happens in this game is, if you've noticed already, I've already explained how you get extra lives by collecting life tokens, but if you've also noticed, every time you collect a new life, the amount of tokens required to get another new life after that increases. Obviously, like, it kind of makes sense. There are a lot of games that work like this that aren't shmups, but, you know, whatever. Maybe if you play Toho, you're familiar with that. Some of those games have that system with life pieces. But essentially what a breakthrough is that once you get to a certain threshold of spirits or kills, you will get an extra life and reset the number of life chips you need. And for every character, it's different. For Deadlier, it starts at, I believe, 20 or 22, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's yeah.
It's a long game. It's a long
Yeah.
game, so the main thing that breakthroughs do is give you more lives, so you just don't get starved out of lives towards the end of the game. When you still get all these life tokens, but at the end of the game could be like 60 extend pieces, which is like insane.
Exactly, and at that point, you really don't want that. And it's also useful for scoring too, but I'll mention that after this.
Pretty much every drop item gives you more lives. It's just some of them they give you more to your necessary counter than the others.
Yeah. So yeah, you get a breakthrough at it depends on which one you get first, the kill or the spirit, but like 90% of the time you'll get the spirit one first. So you get the spirit one at 5,600 spirits. And then after that, you get the kill one at 5,000 kills, which is a lot. So he's going to be getting that pretty late in the game.
I think he's timed the kill breakthrough in such a way to optimize scoring.
On short mission, it's in the first half of segment 8, and in full sequence order, it's in the middle of segment 6.
Okay, it's a good moment to explain immortality, I believe, because twilightex is getting a lot of extra lives. When you are past your maximum, which in his case would be 5, picking the lower one than the initial, he would be getting extra spirit bonus that scales by 40 every time you get an extra life. So that's a pretty substantial point of score. Like, you might not do much else, but still have like 30,000 spirit just by not dying throughout most of the game.
Yeah, and when he says scale by 40, he means like the way it works is that the first one you get, so once you reach 5 lives for the first time, and then you collect another extra life, you get 40 spirits, which doesn't sound like a lot. But then the next one you get 80, 120, 160, 200, and so on and so forth. And at the end of the game, you can get so many extra lives that you will, like, at the end of the game, each new bonus will nab you something like, I think the highest that's ever been seen is in the 1200s. So it's quite a bit, if you do the math. And that's also why he plays with 5 maximum lives instead of 7 or 6 maximum lives, because if you do it this way and you don't die, you can get an extra 1,200 spirits, or even more at the end of the game, which is a big deal. It's a big deal.
So coming up, we have a new stage, stage 5, which is a maze.
Yeah.
Very unique. You scroll through this maze in like just right, left, up, down. You can see the maze right now at the bottom right of the screen. And then
so the important aspect of this game is like the stages, the enemies. So those are 3 types of them. The flyers, which twilightex will be trying to kill like as fast as possible, so then they would spawn at a faster rate, so to get his kill breakthrough earlier. The soul turrets, which are orange and they fire lasers. They give good amount of spirit if you are staying on top of them. Like your spirit score is multiplied by how close you are to the middle of them. And the Luna turrets, which shoot just the basic projectiles, and you get the life tokens out of them. So that's how the stage works in a nutshell.
Yeah, this stage gives you a lot of lives, and it's mostly because if you play the regular game, the full sequence order, the boss right before it, Rusted Dragon, which unfortunately we won't be able to see in this run, is really difficult. So, but yeah, this is probably one of the more
Buy the game.
Yeah, buy the game. It's $10 on Steam. Just search up HellSinker and you'll find it. It's a really good game.
This stage proves like even like you cannot really die to collision. Like you don't get stuck in the walls, so you will be just continuously pushed out by every enemy that you collide with.
Yeah, the walls don't kill you. Luckily, the walls don't kill you.
Yeah, you can move into them by being invulnerable, like using a bomb.
Yeah, that's another thing that we didn't mention is that if when you bomb or some other effects that might happen during the game, you also lose collision as well as being invulnerable to damage, so you can just move around at will. It's pretty nice.
Okay, yeah. So important aspect of this stage is catching the Luna token. So sometimes he would be moving his familiar away from himself to be able to expand his hitbox for grabbing the items.
Yeah.
Did not kill that turret, but he has time. Yeah, it didn't scroll off screen entirely. Yep.
That's kind of awkward.
Just staying in the corner for a tiny bit more spirit, like 3 more. Optimization.
You also want to talk about the fact that there's also another side to this stage, even though it's not being seen in this run.
Yeah, you can see the portals, so it teleports you to the alternate version of the stage, which actually has slightly different boss. Like, and again, yeah, play the game. It has like a lot of things to explore, just the variety of routes and such. Just it's a crime that it's just worth $10 at most. So yeah, that's the circle as a portal. Just twilightex does not go for it because the soul stage has on average more soul turrets, and that means more spirit. Like he gets 40 bits of spirit for each turret, which is huge for just a basic enemy.
Yeah. So it's unfortunately not in the interest of variety, but staying on the soul side, the sun side of this stage is more scoring. There used to be a strat where you would go into the other side, but it's no longer in use. That was like a year ago thing.
Yeah, I wanted to showcase it if I was living that long. Yeah, just use that enemy, just hit him with the relatively weaker attacks before the timer ends.
You just sort of milk it.
Yeah, if you don't if you let the timer run away, you don't get the points because the enemy isn't killed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this is a risk-reward system where you kind of decide between more damage or just trying to get more points on the enemy, like store them in the bank before cashing in on it.
So now the next box is just a massive clock.
Yeah.
That's it.
Virtual calendar.
Yep. Clock.
And the bomb is very useful for the clock phases. The clock has many smaller clocks, and just one bomb destroys them all. It's very useful.
So according
Yeah.
to the lore, the clock has a bunch of like blueprints that it builds new robots out of. Like every boss you've seen so far is a big giant mecha robot. They're called prayers, and this clock like has the ability to build new ones, which is why it's more of a boss rush thing. So the clock will pop in, you destroy all of its things, and then it just like builds a thing that fights you. This is the first one. Looks kind of familiar if you were watching earlier.
Though the technique for this fight is pretty simple.
he's
going.
maximizing score. For a survival run, you can just like speedrun this boss and just kill it as fast as possible.
Yeah, like, you would also want to try to optimize for the cancels, which are pretty important for the boss. So every time you kill a big enemy, those the bullets existing on the screen that would be turned into items called ingots, and those, they are more powerful at giving you the lives to the life points to the necessary counter than any other item in the game. So, well, besides actual life tokens, so he would be trying to hit the boss in such a manner that there would be the bullets turned into the ingots that he would be able to grab him with his familiar.
So in this clock phase, he's not speed killing the boss because he wants to farm kills. Because the next breakthrough is kind of hard to get if you want to speed kill all of these phases.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
So the game
more
has a
risk
fair
reward.
amount of strategy relying to like values carrying over from the stage to stage. So have to optimize your game around it.
yeah. Now safe spot at the top.
Oh, sorry to let you guys know this, but I actually do have to leave in about 15 minutes.
Oh, it's okay.
So, yeah, this went a little bit longer than I anticipated, and I had another commentary thing. I
You
needed to
could
do.
talk a bit more about the lore. Like we're not up to the important bosses just yet.
True. Yeah, the lore is really weird. Actually, the lore is probably the main reason why like Xe probably decided to submit this to a Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, like I showed you the visual novel parts.
Yeah,
briefly.
it's an interesting game. So the story is that like, and this is all from like the manual and like the in-game things. There is no canon, like very little canon of this game other than what's given to you, and it's really confusing because Tonner uses like super complicated language to talk. And so essentially the story is that like you're an organization of like cyborgs basically, high-tech cyborgs in a post-apocalyptic society, and you need to you've been assigned with like exploring a tower on this island. Yeah, investigating a tower on this island, which we're in right now, by the way. Which is called, the island is called Paradise, and the tower is called the Cardinal Shaft. And it was said that it was really influential in the events that led to humanity's downfall and stuff like that, right? And so this is the third time you've been trying to infiltrate the Cardinal Shaft, and so yeah, you essentially, the first 3 stages are getting to the Cardinal Shaft. So if you remember, the first 2 stages are just a bunch of urban ruins. The third stage
and
is
then it's a
you're above
giant
the sky.
ocean that you will see the tower on the island. in the
Yeah.
end.
Stage 4, you're in the sewer system. Stage 5, you're in the labyrinthine maze in the thing.
The front door.
Definitely the front door, yeah. So now
Anyway,
you're
yeah,
just
just
climbing up the tower.
being a little bit sassy on this. So the fine line is the grace bonus that you get for the grace chain that he's been doing.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
the suppression radius still does damage. You have to not forget about this. So have to be a bit careful about that. Like sometimes he will just stop shooting in order to just let the grace continue, even though it gives you less score if you just grace with no suppression radius on. Risk reward.
Yeah, worst attack in the game.
This one is it looks random, but Twilight knows it inside and out because it's actually based on the current timer. So he has the route planned such that the timer is at the same part every the timer is at the same value for each attack if everything goes to plan. So he knows what it should look like essentially. It's not RNG.
Okay, this boss's gimmick is that she will summon the similar familiars to yours, and she will become armored until you destroy all of them. So twilightex uses the opportunity to get pretty good points from hitting those enemies with the small attacks like narrow piercing.
Yeah, it's an interesting touch that this boss actually does have a name, not something, and it's a different health bar too. So it's like a really weird system in this game, but it contributes to the lore.
Sort of also the first human character we're fighting.
Formerly human, I guess. Although everything in this game was formerly human.
Yeah, she has a subtitle, Heroic Dead.
Alright, now, the important thing is here that you want to destroy the mini turrets and clocks twice to trigger the secret phase. Which is important.
But
for
it's not so
scoring.
secret anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
And there we go.
So this part is the final phase. He's just going to repeatedly destroy the center to activate what's called Fate Control, and every time he destroys the center, he gets 3 Terra back. So if you're like really low on Terra, but you want to not get your Shrine of Farewell, you have to use this essentially. Make use of this phase, get some of it back.
It's also worth a lot of score. Like he's getting like 10 per phase, 20.
Oh yes. So this stage just really demonstrates how good Deadlier is at this whole glass cannon thing, just destroying the enemies before they really produce a substantial threat. But that requires good foreknowledge and memorization of the game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Other characters do not destroy this nearly as quickly.
And meta
Okay,
management
yeah,
as well.
it's just this game is good in a way that it has a character for every playstyle. Like you could play it like a fighting game character, or you could just do more of like reacting to things, or just be like Deadlier and be like completely methodical, just researching the game in advance, trying to plan things out, and using the best tool for the occasion. So yeah, twilightex I think is going to go for 6 because it scores more. And it's a longer stage too. Nice grace at the beginning, so he's trying to hit the most needles with the aura as possible.
Yep. So this is we're finally traveling up the Cardinal Shaft, and we're in this really really open cathedral-like place. Yeah, the visuals in this game were kind of ahead of their time. So he's about to get a lot of points, and you'll see why soon.
This triangle is targetable.
Yeah,
For
it's
some
sus.
intuitive
You
reason.
have to destroy the sus for more lives.
Yeah, there's a little fountain there that just keeps, vomiting lives out as soon as you do
That's
more
actually
damage.
the only major life source in this stage.
Yeah, it's really vital that you get it.
Because like casually it's a killer.
Yeah.
Nice score. Yeah, that's like just look at the spirit gauges raising up during the grazes. It's so satisfying visually to see. So important thing in this fight is to let the laser from below to damage the parts, but you have to finish them off yourself in order to spirit to actually carry over to the main body, so you would cash in on them. So he just barely moves the enemy out of the way, like a major part of the game is actually moving the enemy's shots and behaviors when you need them to be.
Yep.
And now these waves continue for the next 50 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, just have to. Oh yeah, donations. Do we have donations?
No donations yet, but we did have a few raids that I wanted to thank that we missed earlier. So M Night raided us, JMC, and DCosmic. So I just want to thank everyone that raided us.
Thank you.
Yeah, this
So
enemy
is
rush.
just to- yeah,
Oh,
it's
go
just a
ahead.
reward for you to kill the mid boss early, and so twilightex is just trying to get as many kills as possible for the kill breakthrough. So the breakthroughs are again important because you will refresh the cost of how much your next extra life is worth. So you'll get much more extra lives by timing your breakthroughs appropriately across the credit.
Every time you bomb, your Stella is actually reduced, so that's another incentive to not bomb so much if you're going for score.
Oh yeah, but it's not really big of a factor, but you can notice that twilightex bombed a lot during that section. That's because the enemies drop soul tokens and they recharge your bombs, so ammo is everywhere, you just have to look for it.
Also believe he found a new strat here just the other day. He's far more aggressive now. So even 2 years later, he's still finding new things about the game.
Yeah, every time he improves his world record, it's by like a really small amount, but there needs to be like a giant strat overhaul just for that little amount.
And he's only playing one character of the 4. Each of them have different playstyles, so there's still more unexplored stuff. Easiest section in the game, you just hit the masters for score.
Yeah, well, it's harder if you play for kills, because you need to kill as many as possible, but this part is hard because they don't shoot the lasers directly at you, and it's actually, I think it's RNG, I'm not entirely sure.
Look at the grays, like the spirit gauge. It's racing so fast.
So one mechanic...
Yeah, by the way, the purple tokens, they're kind of bad.
So one thing we actually haven't talked about is running spirits. Just passively, based on your current score, you just get more score. So
I don't think it's relevant at current level, but the purple tokens are, like, if you delete a lot of bullets with your suppression radius, the game thinks that you suck, and that's why it sends you the purple tokens down the screen, and so they will actually decrease your Stella, because the game thinks you want it to be a little bit easier, but nah. Like, twilightex wants to avoid them, and so purple tokens will become your enemies, so they are the most dangerous pickup in the game, in a way.
Yeah, they will cripple your score. But only if you're playing for score. If you're playing for survival, it's pretty much inconsequential.
Oh yeah, a really good track and comment in the boss, yes. Reference to Tonor's earlier Schmuck game, Radio Zoned. Oh yeah, have to be closer up there in this specific setup to get the full score, otherwise the laser will kill them and you will get no score. Keep your dignity.
Yeah, that's like a catchphrase of this game. There's some weird phrases in this game. They're all really funny English.
An awesome player.
And
is
awesome
conflict
prayers
with us.
with us.
Yeah, this pattern is fixed, so twilightex uses the opportunity to just stay up close and personal. Like, he's not trying to mash the shot key too fast, otherwise his Luna would deplete from high. And so if you're not having high Luna, you're getting less spirit for your shots, so... Anyway, this fight, Apostles of the Seed, which has a multitude of forms and a bit of secrets to them, so has to be a bit strategic and balance the damage across the two of them. So the health bar on the sword, which is actually called the key, is actually the health for both of these combined, and it's going to be important in triggering a secret attack of theirs, which will give more score.
Yeah, this boss is actually unironically the hardest in the game. This boss is like this is the wall that pretty much every new player runs into when they're trying to survive this game. Because this boss is just really, really difficult.
I would argue Rusty Dragon is harder for score, but oh well.
Oh, for score, yes, of course. This boss is not not the hardest for score, but yeah, for survival, it's ridiculous. It's also like one of the few bosses in the game that have true RNG. So yeah, that's really, really fun to deal with. So let's see. Yeah, just does he get the good patterns or the bad patterns? This one is okay. This one sucks. I hate this one.
Yes, this is the worst one probably. Like, he has to not damage this guy too much for the strat to work, so he's been in the corner for this. So uses the suppression radius to not let the bullets be in the corner, managed to land the blades on both of this.
He's managing the damage to... he wants to get this guy lower and destroy him first.
Here's a secret attack. Gives a lot of score.
Okay, yeah. Placed the familiar on top of himself so that he doesn't have to fire, but he will still destroy the bullets, which give a considerable number of not crack score. 3 more seconds, and then the self-destruct phase is coming. So the one with less health will obtain super armor, so he'll take less damage from the attacks, just finish them off for a juicy 100 spirit. Otherwise, they will destroy themselves and you will get no score. So for here, this phase actually cancels, so he tries to obtain for the good amount of ingots on the screen, gets all of them nicely with
place. It's not over yet.
Bari. But yeah, time to get out, run.
It's the escape sequence. Not even the end of the game and there's an escape sequence.
Yeah, hard part about playing Deadlier is you basically are playing 2 characters at once because you have to place the fairy at the best spots for to get maximum use of her, and like she has similar properties to you, like being able to grab the items or drag the Homan's missiles towards her.
Yeah. This part is also one of the reasons why this boss is like one of the harder ones in the game. It's because you have to not only survive the boss, but also survive this, which for newer players can be very, very difficult.
Yeah, like you see this cloud of the 1 numbers. It's still pretty good amount of spirit. Because he lets those things spawn instead of like killing the thing immediately. It's just like important thing in those kinds of games is sometimes if you shoot on sight, you will get considerably less score. Have to think about it, like your consequences. And the key will actually blast your way into the next stage. Bam.
Yeah, too bad we won't be seeing stage 7 here. We'll be going straight to Shrine of Farewell first. I actually do need to go now. So thank you guys for having me.
That's a good one.
Hopefully you two can take it from here.
Okay, anyway, Shrine, so he's already picked up the boss order out of his preferred ones. It doesn't really matter too much, but yeah, Temperament Nil already, so placed the Tsubari Throw on top of it. So trying to, maximize the damage on top of these. You don't really get a lot of score in this stage because your priority is to survive. Like, this stage, you cannot normally game over into it, and he's going to use this phase for a little bit of extra grace score from those blue bullets. So not really trying to kill it immediately, but it's a really risk-reward type of thing, because like the amount of score you get from these is like not comparable with potential of the crystals that you can lose. And this, your score, there's currently 0 spirits. Like, you will just not regain back your score in your original amount if you screw up too much. And like, but twilightex does this stage so well that we would expect him to double his current score before the final stage.
Straight up the most important stage to score. It's really nerve-wracking.
So he will try to not get hit.
Yeah, he's also still scoring this like a madman. There's so much at risk if something goes wrong. Then here, gotta destroy the 4 options, and then the person in the middle, then just speed kill this phase.
Yeah, in the shmups terminology, options are the small additions to your character or the enemies, so that would be like your familiar that you're using here.
And now he milks this for the... he hits all of them, so that's just another milk.
Yeah, milking would be to prolong the attack for as long as possible, for him to gain extra points out of him by destroying respawnable stuff here. Like, again, the stage runs on timer, so he doesn't want to spend too much time on this.
False alarm. I actually don't have to go now. I can stay around for the rest of this run. Let's go.
Okay, welcome back. So, anyway, yeah, so we have 2 minutes left. During this time, twilightex... Actually, when you bomb, like, it still sometimes does a bit more damage to the boss, so can't really milk this phase for too long. And...
yeah, you don't want to time out this this Shrine of Farewell, because you will just lose your crystals if you time it out.
yeah, you will miss out on all of the remaining bosses, and you cannot get your crystals from them, so your score will be way less coming back out of this. So,
luckily, Deadlier does a really big amount of damage, so he can really just rush through a lot of these patterns.
Like, we already got past the patterns that gives you a good score. Oh no, the death. That's gonna cost a lot.
Yeah, that costs about like 15 crystals. Yeah, like, oh no, that was like 20 crystals.
No, that's actually less. Like, he only lost 8, but
really?
Oh.
I thought he lost 9 from the second.
Oh right, yeah, like
attack as well.
Possibly, but on the last one he didn't regain Stella, so didn't get the full points for this either. So he's waiting on this because he wants the very specific cancel at the end of the stage. So that's why he's not going to destroy the stone until the limit will reach a certain number.
I believe it's like 17 or 18.
Yeah, it's 18. It's very specific. This is the very deep scoring strat. It barely even nabs.
Yeah, because the end of the stage provides a cancel, and the bonus boss will be spawning most of the bullets at that time.
It barely even gets in 20 spirit, but he still
Like, a lot of this game is a puzzle. Like, you have, like, it's not really hard to play to recover, but at the same time, there are lots of small optimizations that you don't really notice unless you study the game extensively. Just constantly trying to push the individual stages to, like, you don't have to score the full game, you can just score just one stage if you like it.
So you can use the bar
like,
here.
Yeah, a bit of a score loss. Like, the maximum amount of crystals you can get is 424. So basically, your score would be multiplied by
2.12 times.
Yep.
So he lost quite a bit here, but it actually is not as consequential on short mission, because in short mission there's obviously like less of the game that you play before the shrine, which is really funny because just to give some context, for the main game, Deadlier, the character being played right now, is like by far the best character in the game. But on short mission, Deadlier is actually kind of equal to another character called Fossil Maiden, and the reason for this is because Fossil Maiden has a giant like score on segment 8, but like not so good score on the earlier segments. So in short mission, you don't have as much of the earlier segments to play. And so it's just, yeah. And another thing is there's another character, Minogame, which is known as the one that's easiest to survive, but probably the hardest to score with. Yep. And Minogame plays the first
execution is the hardest on the top levels.
Yeah, for sure. But Minogame's first 7 segments are like really good, but they have one really big weakness, which is that on the Shrine of Farewell, if you saw at the end, Deadlier was.
He doesn't have an option to grab the items for him, so
exactly.
he all the items manually, and he misses on quite a bit of score.
Yeah, so like you can use like you can use Tabari, which is the drone thing, to catch the crystals, and Fossil Maiden has one as well, but Minogame doesn't. So oftentimes, even if you get the 424 crystals, you can't collect them all. So
the last stage is actually quite easy in the comparison. Besides, like those centipedes that will sometimes kill you if you are not knowing the good spots to retreat towards when they unleash the needle attack. So, yeah, like 300 points from just one wave of those.
It's definitely the most nerve-wracking because it's a long stage. It gives a big chunk of score, and it's at the very end of the run, right?
I think it's still on fail, like the game. Yeah,
I would not want to have the same pressure here as like with other stages.
Yeah, so getting pretty good points out of here because like staying on the screen up here keeps his stellar counter high.
Yep. So we're heading to the very, very top of the tower to discover what lies within the secrets. Yeah, we'll be seeing what that secret is pretty soon.
Yeah, it's called HellSinker, by the way. We're gonna see what the fuck is HellSinker. Oh, sorry. Anyway, yeah, do we have donations at this point?
No donations yet, but we just like to remind everyone what this event is for. The panel below has the full details for Linemate 2.0. It is for one of our members, just getting him up on his feet, roof over his head, food on the table for him and his 2 kids. Any donation is appreciated.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not a part of the Metal Gear Solid speedrun community, and I don't know who this person is, but I can say it's a good cause, so please do it.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, like we have the final boss left. The fatal attraction now reaches to be described as HellSinker. So the side destination, it's gonna be pretty important because we're going to be defining the true last boss to fight in this game, and of course we're going to be going for the one that gives you the most score. Like that's to let's speak like avoid some of the spoilers. So just grazing this initial attack. When these are transparent, you can move through them, but when they are bright, you can still be hit by those lightnings. So it's trying to graze the core.
So yeah, it is just a big computer thing. It's going to cycle through a set list of attacks, essentially. So it's a timed boss. You can do damage to it, but all that will do is just increase your score, essentially. So yeah. Also, you do need to hit the boss, though, because if you look at the top of the screen, you can see a satisfaction meter. It can increase from level 0 to level 3, and it's going to be really important because at the very, very end of the fight, you can get a different final boss depending on what level of satisfaction it's at when the fight ends.
But the boss is more vulnerable at the later attacks, so it's just that, yeah, twilightex is currently just using every opportunity to get pretty good score, because there's still a lot of gain, even though the boss is relatively simple. Like, his immortality stack has reached 1,000, like, look, it was just 80 at the start of the game, so it scales just a lot. You get so many life points, like, later in the stage, so I have to be mindful of this, just this snowball is being ridiculous. So some of the destructible bullets here, just placing your option in such a way to be able to catch the remainder of them.
Also, yes, there is a lot of Morse code in this game. Way too much. Way too much.
You even see it in other games. Then they got inspired by.
Yeah.
HellSinker. It's like a cult classic for the genre, I would say.
You could say.
Yes. It's just a game that you can play it like for 200 hours and not get sick of it. Anyway, yeah, this
200, bruh.
Yeah, this spot.
Like, do you know how many hours? Do you know how many hours this guy has in this game?
Probably like 4,000, but
he definitely has over 1,000. I know that for sure. On Steam, he has like over 800. But he also has a lot of the booth.
Like, I mean, it's a 2006 game, and like it still keeps being optimized, so the score unseen is still well alive. So anyway, he's going to be not using his main attack at all for the thing that is going to be very important later. He's going to be charging for the secret attack, and that's why he's only going to be using his familiar Tobari in order to keep his like the boss's satisfaction meter on level 3, which will obtain him the best boss for us.
So yeah, he's holding down his main shot right now. Normally that charges your sword swing, but there's a thing in this game called the 60-second blade.
Yeah, he got it. The total karma compressor system known as Garland.
Yep. So we're going to be seeing the true final boss of this game.
Yeah, beware. Like it's going to be a bit seizure worthy. So, like, totally karma compressing action.
Yeah, honestly, this is why like I was not really supporting the idea of turning down your bitrate. This part is insane. So that's a very he just took out half of the boss's life bar with that one swing. That's how powerful.
Yeah, because he was charging the sword for the 60 seconds. Like, normally it was supposed to be sort of a secret. It can kill bosses in one shot, like the earlier bosses in the game, but at the same time, it wasn't really useful in the score runs, because it's better to just, be hitting them for the 60 seconds. But no, it's useful, and it's really ironic that it comes in handy just in the end of the game, at the final boss. Look at his background.
So yeah, the objective for this boss is you need to do enough damage to the core within a certain amount of time to fill up the health bar. Not to deplete it, but to fill it up. Because the fight doesn't end.
We just have to collect a present that's stuck in that thing. So, like, yeah, we're a bit upset that we did not get our Christmas gift that's keeping the world entirely continuously broken. So anyway, he's going to be charging another 60-second blade, so that's why he's going to be only using his bomb and the option to destroying the white hexagons to the sides, keeping going to the boss in order to regain the Stella to level 8, and the lasers actually damage the boss for lots of points.
Yeah, if you can even see his points right now, he's getting a lot.
Yeah, the boss is actually trying to help the player break itself. It's kind of funny in the universe.
The computer needs to recharge its systems, has no power. Just smack it a bit.
Yeah, it's kind of like defibrillation. Anyway, yeah, another immortality stack. Like, have to be in the corner for this, so...
Satisfying. Look at all those life pieces.
Lots of extra lives. Yeah, like, the game over is really not an issue at this point. Just hitting the enemy by the 60-second blades in order to get a good spirit stack of this, because every time you kill this enemy, the value for killing it, like, is getting higher, like, for 7. So like it's now 60, 70, and so this boss is really, really lucrative. And also, can you see what it is in this bitrate?
Yeah. It's a cat. It's a cat.
Yeah.
Oh,
the final boss of the game is a cat. So yeah.
Cats ruin everything.
Yeah, the cat's stuck in the karma compressor machine, so we're getting it out. It's free. I'm gonna let you out.
So yeah, this is just a final score rush.
So we have time coming up in around 17 seconds.
Yep, you can see the limit at the top right. That's when time is going to come up. Yeah, luckily this is not too hard to survive. All of those like mistletoe bullets are cancelable by your suppression aura. So
yeah, like your own mistletoe is helping a lot in this fight. Anyway,
time
collecting time, and yeah, and here's. Yeah, the final screen has a bit of a frame where stuff turns into life tokens, so it can still collect items on this end. Yep, it's 100,000 spirits.
106,000
It's like his
spirits.
4th best score.
He died once.
It's his 4th best score on this run. Pretty good.
And he's naming himself Limeade in honor of the event.
Nice. GG's. Thank you to the HellSinker community. Go ahead. Did you want to say any final words?
Oh shit! Sorry.
He has to disconnect from the stream.
Yes, so we will all do that all in a sec. But thank you, HellSinker community, for jumping in on Limeade 2.0, showing off the game, working through us with these technical difficulties as we switch runners midstream. Yeah. But we also got a $5 donation at the end from Big Ol' Bossu. Says, congrats on the great run. Thank you for taking part in Limeade. Also, Glasgow is still full of specky bums. I actually know what that means.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
This game was originally somewhat of a joke because people thought nobody played it, but then people played it.
Well, there you go. So we'll go on a quick break. Up next is Half-Baked Snake running Resident Evil 0. So we will be right back.